done everything you've asked. Everything's going according to plan.
Governor, we won county, and the NAPAC has never been stronger.
So tell us, Governor, what else can we do for you?
I got it from here. Welcome back to another episode of Barrett's Regular Talks. Should people leave earlier or stay late at a large event? Now, this is a very controversial topic because people with disabilities, depending on where they're at and depending on their condition, it all depends on what works best for them. Now, I can tell you what works best for me, and I hope to give you insight on the pros and cons leaving early or staying late. And I would like to take this time to recognize Winthrop University for thanking them for me being there to be a part of the Coach Pass, and I really enjoyed that experience, and it was really a good game. And saying that, I often stay late to like the basketball event or like a baseball event, and I just wait till the crowd leaves because I think you paid money to see something, whether if it's a concert, baseball game, or a soccer game, what have you. So I think staying late, you get more out of what you pay for. But I know people leave early that have other disabilities to avoid the crowds, and I understand why, because they don't want to be out late. It might be harder for them to find their car in the dark. You might have another event tomorrow that you have to be prepared for. That's when I would leave early myself, when I had something like a testers. Something like that where I had to be prepared for, and it was a really big deal. A recent example about this is when I had to not when I had to turn off the basketball game I was watching, even though it was really good and like the score and it was a really good game. I know that's not in retrospect of being there at the event and leaving early or staying late, but that's kind of the idea and that's kind of where I take it. Now, in terms of other people with disabilities, it gets better into walking distance at night, not being able to see clearly, or a lot of people in wheelchairs have to deal with this also. The bus leaves at a certain time, and if it goes into overtime or something like that, then they gotta get on the bus so they can get to their destination or where they need to go. So, in my opinion, it is better to stay later because you get more out of it, but also, if you have something important like a test or something that you need to study for, I know when I was in school, I had to study religiously every day, and a little bit before I took the test, so I didn't forget everything. And during those periods in my life, I missed out on a lot of opportunities and a lot of experiences that I would normally go to if I didn't have school in that time. Now that I'm saying this, I'm no longer in school anymore, so it's very different for me now. Like, I was able to go to a WWE live event with my brother thanks to a person in my life paying for the tickets. Now, I did have a great time, but I was on the verge of leaving early because the seats were too crowded. There was two people, well, actually three people in wheelchairs, and they had us all in the same exact spot. Now, in saying this, I believe companies and organizations that sell these types of seats, they need to have like a space limit, meaning don't oversell the tickets. And I believe this needs to be fixed because here's what me and my brother had to deal with. One, he had to sit somewhere else and I didn't. And they put me in between two chairs. One was motorized like me, and one was basically a manual push chair. And saying that, my chair is pretty wide. It's your standard wide chair. So, and the person on my left hand side, the wide chair said to me, it was so tight that I felt bad and I felt like I was in his bubble because it was basically my armrest was on his armrest and it just did not seem feasible. Now, I gotta give a shout out to the venue because they did the best they could, but in saying that, a lot of venues and a lot of built places that are very popular around the world, a lot of them have this issue that they don't take huge big wheelchairs like motorized wheelchairs and how big and how wide they can get. Now granted you can only get so wide because you gotta fit through standard doorways, and that's another conversation for another day, but I would say I did have a good time at the event, although it was kind of hard for me to see. And where they put the handicap seating, which I don't like using that word, and I'll get into that on another topic in another video, but where they put the seating was not in a good place to start with. It was very hard to see, at least for me, and I can see very well and enjoy the experience for this reason. Now, I'm happy to report that they moved me and my brother at the last minute, so we got to see the last couple matches. But in saying that, event specialists and venues should bring out a survey for one for their disability people participants, and they should listen to us to make everybody's experience better. Now, I mentioned that I went to Winthrop not too long ago either, and I had a great time. They treated me well. They treated me like one of the people, like I was on their team for the whole entire season, and I do respect that, and I do thank them for that. But in saying that, I wish more and more venues and more employees would do the same thing. And it might be just me, and I might be being picky here, but I can tell you from what I've seen and what I experience in life. If you treat a disability person like you would everybody else, it goes a long way. And I really thank the winter basketball team for that. To wrap this up, I do think it's better to stay late instead of leaving early. Because like I said before, you get the full experience. Yes, you might have to plan on waiting on the crowd to drive in the dark. If you can. Not everybody can. And I would try to find a parking spot that would be easy for you and your family to reach. Also, I do think getting there early is a key point too. Cause I was at the not the Winter Stadium, but I was at the Panthers Stadium, and they had to unscrew the seats so I can get my wheelchair in there. And I felt bad for the guy, cause there's only one guy in the entire stadium to unscrew those seats, so they were not considered as a weapon, cause they didn't want anybody grabbing those chairs and throwing it at people. Which I do understand that, but I say also, if you're gonna go that route, at least have like 2 or 3 people, not just that one person with that special screwdriver to unscrew the seats. Because I know I wasn't the only one frustrated waiting on that one person, but I was in the way for about 25 minutes or so. So you can imagine how frustrating other people were getting. I'm glad we were there a couple minutes early to take care of that scenario. I can only imagine if we were there right on time and all the people were trying to get to their seats and I was blocking the way. I can imagine if I showed up on time, it would have been a little bit embarrassing for me. I hope venue planners will take my thoughts and my complaints in consideration. And thank you for listening to Barrett's Regular Podcast. You can email me at BARETS.SWAGGYLIFE@gmail.com.